Meanwhile, Congress is moving forward with a bill to ban TikTok on government devices amid concerns over China collecting users' data. The bill passed the Senate, but Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she doesn't see it passing in the House before the end of the year. ABC's Jay O'Brien joins me live from Capitol Hill now with more. So, Jay, just lay this out for us. What's the main concern when it comes to TikTok, and just how much support is there for this bill in Congress?
Well, there are two concerns. So TikTok is an app that's owned by a Chinese company. And so the initial concern that we hear from lawmakers who are behind this measure is that it could collect user data. And Josh Hawley, a good example, who's the one who championed that bill in the Senate, called it, I'll quote him directly here, a backdoor for the Chinese Communist Party. That were remarks he made in September. So he's summing up some of the concern there. He proposes this legislation. It passes the Senate with no opposition earlier this week. And as you said, it now is in the hands of the House of Representatives, but they have a lot on their plate to get done before the new Congress come January 3rd. And Speaker Pelosi got the question yesterday, does she see TikTok, this bill banning it from government devices, working into the House's schedule before January 3rd? And she said there's so much on Congress's plate, I'm paraphrasing her here, that she doesn't see this happening, doesn't see this coming to a vote in the House by that key date when the new Congress takes over. But it's worth pointing out, Pelosi said that this is a very, very important piece of legislation. Despite that, I can tell you there is bipartisan support on Capitol Hill for measures against China, so there might be something to this in the new Congress, Alexis.
And we don't see that bipartisan support often, do we? Jay, you said they have a lot on their plate, and they do. We know lawmakers have passed a stopgap measure to fund the government and avoid a potential shutdown, but really only for another week, so they're sort of kicking the can down the road. What's the latest there?
Well, we know that there is the framework of a deal between Senate and Democrat and Republican appropriators and Democrat appropriators in the House. House Republicans oppose that deal because they don't like the way that it was struck. But what exactly is in that $1.7 trillion omnibus spending framework deal that's been created? That's unclear because we don't have the text of the bill yet. There's talk that it will come out perhaps late Monday or early Tuesday, but Congress has its work cut out for them because it's got to pass first in the Senate. That's the plan that's been created. It's got to pass in the Senate and then go to the House for a vote. So next week's going to be a busy week. This weekend's going to be busy for lawmakers and their staff trying to get this legislation written and lay out what's going to be in it. And then we're going to see if Congress can avert that shutdown by their new Friday deadline, Alexis.
All right. And then, of course, overnight, the Senate overwhelmingly passed a major military spending bill. It provides increased aid to allies like Ukraine and Taiwan. And it also does away with the COVID vaccine requirement for service members. How significant is that, and what else can you tell us about what's in that bill?
Well, on that last item you mentioned, doing away with the vaccine mandate for service members, that was a priority for Republicans, and they see it as a win that this was included in the legislation. It's something that the White House opposed and even the Pentagon opposed. But this is a massive spending bill, $858 billion of defense spending. It is more than the administration asked for in their initial budget for defense. Congress said, we're going to give you even more than that. You're right, there is Ukraine spending in that. There's also a mechanism in that requires the administration to lay out short-term and long-term spending plans as it relates to Ukraine. But again, this is one thing, particularly as it relates to Ukraine spending, that's going to be another point of contention in the new Congress, because there are Republicans, some in the House, but the majority of them, or excuse me, some in the Senate, but the majority of them are in the House, that oppose Ukraine spending. We've heard Kevin McCarthy, poised to be the next Republican Speaker of the House, although he has his work cut out for him on that front, who said he doesn't want to write a, quote, blank check to Ukraine. So this kind of aid going forward might be under additional Republican scrutiny when they take over in January.
All right, thanks for sorting it all out for us, Jay O'Brien.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.